Good morning, this is Archer continuing flight lesson number 1 of my flight instruction series for FRB and War Thunder. Our next maneuver will be slow flight. This is going to be our third maneuver of the flight lesson. And the slow flight is simply controlling the aircraft at the slowest possible speed that you can keep it in the air. We're going to begin this maneuver from straight and level flight at a normal cruising airspeed, and just as we were doing before in the last section, we're going to be using visual references in order to keep the pitch attitude of the aircraft where we want. Alright, in order to start slowing down, just reduce the throttle, and this is going to cause us to begin losing airspeed. We want to stay level as we slow down though. Now, as we begin losing airspeed, the amount of lift the wings are producing is going to be reduced. So we're going to need to gradually increase angle of attack as our airspeed decreases in order to maintain a consistent level of lift and maintain the same altitude. The slower we get, the higher angle of attack we need to producing the same amount of lift. Now remember that we are going to have a little turning tendencies on the aircraft. Whenever you pitch up, you're going to have to add a little bit of right rudder, although our power setting is currently low, so the amount of rudder that we'll need is going to be only slight. And we're just using our ailerons to keep the wings level, using the elevator to keep the nose pitch where we want, and rudder to keep the nose swinging left or right. Alright, we'll add our flaps one notch at a time as we continue to slow down. In the mid 200s or so is when it's safe to go ahead and start adding flaps. And the BF-109 and in most aircraft are going to be around that same airspeed as well. Now, as we slow down here, the increasing angle of attack that we have is going to continue to add drag to the aircraft, because the higher angle of attack, the more induced drag you have. So we're going to need to begin adding power as we get close to minimum controllable airspeed in order to stop losing airspeed. You're going to actually need more power than you would think. It's going to be close to the cruise power setting. So as we reach roughly our minimum controllable airspeed here, we're going to begin adding power. And as we add the power, that is going to increase our left turning tendency, so we need rudder to compensate for that. And we're just going to hold the aircraft nose here. Note that the nose attitude on the horizon is significantly higher than you normally have in cruise flight in order to stay level, because we need the higher angle of attack in order to produce the same amount of lift. Alright, here in just a second we are going to exit slow flight. We do that by adding full power. As we add full power, that's going to really increase the left turning tendencies on the aircraft, because now we have a very high power setting. We're really slow with the nose high. So just like on takeoff, you're going to be adding a lot of right rudder in to compensate as you add the power. And as we begin to accelerate, we'll begin taking our flaps back out. You want to make sure that you've got them fully retracted by mid 200s or so, and that's in kilometers per hour as I have that in right now. And we're going to return to level flight at a normal airspeed, and you should have this pitch attitude fairly well memorized. As we reach our normal cruising speed, you can bring the power setting back again to about 3/4 or so, 75%. Alright, and that's it for slow flight. A lot of these principles are going to apply to the aircraft on landing, so make sure you practice this.